What's up, Facebook? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Because most importantly, as my mentor always says, drop it in the comments. When you feel good, you flat out do good. That's what I'm talking about. That's why you're here today, and that's what I appreciate about you. You're here to feel good, and I'm here to have some fun with you. I'm having a little bit of connectivity problems, so I apologize if I break up a little bit. The internet people have to dig up the line out of the backyard all the way out to the alley to repair the problem. So I hope this goes well. Ryan, what's up? David, what's up? How are you guys doing tonight? How are you feeling? That is my question at the beginning of every live, because it's important to feel good. When you feel good, you flat out do good. My name is Scott Sparrow, and I'm so thankful you guys are here tonight. Let's have some fun. What is Driven? Driven's a show I created for people that are crushing it, that want to crush it, or like me, that didn't even know what crushing was about until I got online, I leveled up, opened a book, and I started learning some stuff, and I looked into what I was doing, and I knew instantly what I was doing was not going to get me to where I wanted to go. Can you hear me all right? Can you see me okay? I'm going without the headphones and the mic, so I hope it's okay for you guys, and I hope you can hear me good. Notifications. What's up? All right, Driven tonight. It's a show, like I said, people who are crushing it, that want to crush it, and they don't even know what crushing it's about. We're sledders, and we build our lives, we build our businesses, and we build our passions around what exactly means the most to me. David, what's up? All ears, hearing good. Precip on the way. I know, stoke level's high. I got a new sign in the background. Snow's coming to Tahoe. Snow's coming all up and down the West Coast. Feet upon feet, or centimeters on top of centimeters. Couldn't be more pumped about it. But I'll tell you what this is Driven. This is about building your mindset, about building your life, and adding horsepower to your network. I am Scott Sparrow. I'm a dad, and I'm a sledder, and I got my vision set on exactly what means the most to me. And that requires a little bit of learning. It requires a little bit of knowledge, and I hope if you get one thing from this show is I have completely built my business on Facebook and networking. Right. Kyle, that's exactly what we're talking about today, networking and the power of networking. If you get one thing from this show tonight, I hope that you realize the power behind networking, and not only that, the power behind networking the right way. There's definitely a wrong way, and there's definitely a right way to network, and when done properly, will add horsepower to you, to your life, and it will serve you for 1 year, 2 year, 10, 20 years down the road. And that's what I'm talking about tonight, because that is a driven mindset. If you have the right intentions and you have the right purpose behind what you're networking with, you can climb mountains. And like I had a mentor just talk to me today about 3 key things that you need to access and to be sure to do when you're networking, and I'm going to get with those right at the end of the show, and I have a big show. You all right, bud? Yeah. Deegan crashed over there. He okay? He's okay. How's everyone doing? Clinton's on. What's up? Dude's about ready to fight in next week. Stoked for that. Get him, Clinton. Matt's on. Thank you, Kyle, again. I got somebody coming on tonight, and they're going to talk about the power of networking, and the power of networking done right. He's going to share some stories. I'm going to share some stories. We're going to have some fun. So I want to interact with you. I want to ask you one question. If you could have the secrets behind the power of networking, would you access them, and would you use them right? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you to network the right way? And have you been networking the right way? And whether you're doing it professionally, whether you're doing it personally, or whether you're doing it to try to reach out to find somebody, to find the right sledding spot, to ask us snow conditions, to, borrow a tool to help you work on your sled, to help you work on your business, to help you work on your website, whatever it is, networking can be your answer, because somebody out there, as I quickly learned, always knows more than you, and they will always be willing to help you with whatever it is you're working on. If you're coming from a place of compassion, and you're coming from the right place, and you got the right mindset when you go into it, that majority of people will pour whatever it is they know into you, if it's done right, if it's done in the proper way. So somebody that's networked the right way and somebody that's networked the wrong way, I can definitely tell you that The power behind networking is priceless, and you've got to access that. So with that, I'm going to throw on Jon right now. We kind of rehearsed this a little bit. I'm going to go shaky, shaky. Got to get better. Can't lose you. Like I said, my name is Scott. I'm a dad. I'm a sledder, and I got my vision set on exactly what means the most to me. And that means setting myself up, setting my son up, and setting our lives up to be able to do the things we love to do and enjoy the lives the way we need to enjoy them. And there's a lot of parts to that. There's business aspects to that. There's personal aspects to that. There's faith aspects to that. And most importantly, there's family aspects to that. And Driven is a place where I want to come, everybody come, we connect, and we can grow into a spot where we can excel at all areas of those in our life. Everyone knows something. Exactly, Kyle. I learned that out fast. I was like, no, I got this. On anything I tried, I'm like, I can figure it out. I quickly found out that it's easier just to ask somebody, hey, have you experienced this? I don't know where Jon's at. Come on. Send him an invite. All right, so quick thing right after this. I got 3 things at the end of this live I want to share with you that will tap into the secrets behind networking the right way. First things first, I want to hop Jon on here, and we're going to share some stories about what it means to network the right way and what it means to not only you, but the person aspect it would be. I'm pumped up about this. Guys, okay, a little bit about Jon. You've seen him in a first episode, episode number 4. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, and you can catch his story. He's coming on tonight with a purpose. He's coming on tonight with passion. This gentleman reached out to me a few weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 now, and from his nature and from what he is just the type of person he is, he's just absolutely helped me in ways that I don't even know how to say thank you enough, and he continues to do that, and I'm quickly seeing where it comes from. This dude comes from a place of compassion. Everything he puts his heart into, he excels at. Jon Farian, welcome, bud. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Can you hear me? I got a clear picture of you.
I can hear you fine. How about you guys? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Drop some thumbs, drop some fire. Let us know you can hear him and see him. I can hear you okay, bud.
All right. That's all I need to know. If you can hear me okay.
All right.
Cool. Yeah.
How are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing pretty darn fantastic. It's been a crazy busy week. It was a short night last night. Was up late working on some projects for different programs I'm involved in, and another early morning back to T-Mobile this morning, and crazy day at work. Had a big business presentation in front of the VP, had to present my business to the new guy that came in above us, and we're squeezing this in too. So it's life in full throttle, the way Jon Farian likes it, man.
Love it, man. You're crushing it in all aspects. I got to tell you, I just came across the T-Mobile CEO's Facebook page this afternoon.
That dude's a fine guy to follow right there.
You got one of the wildest CEOs in the world, I think. Like, what an amazing guy, huh?
Yeah, T-Mobile's been a pretty crazy company to work for, man. It's like I started in 2010, and the company was literally, doing this. It was, down. And then when this guy showed up at the end of 2012, all of a sudden it was like, boom. And the whoa company just started turning around.
His energy just pours out. That's one thing I noticed right away. I was like, whoa, that got slow cooker Sunday.
Yeah, slow cooker Sunday. If you found that, that's it's an amazing thing that he's doing there. That's pretty cool. He kind of figured out what you figured out eventually here, which is Facebook Live is kind of a fun tool. I've been having a little fun with it just personally. I've been really enjoying these episodes. And, when I did episode 4 with you, I was excited to do it. And I was a little reluctant to do it, as you know. But then I got in here and I got in with you, and I saw the momentum that you're building, and it's so much fun, man. It's like every time I see a show, like I reach out to you, we talk a little bit, kind of brainstorm a little bit more, we get inspired, both of us do. And I'm excited to see where you take this whole thing. It's going to be a blast, man.
It's a learning process. I'm going to stumble my way to the top, I decided, and I'm going to collect people along the way, such as yourself, to help me get up there a little quicker. And that, to me, is networking. That's what we're talking about tonight is the way add horsepower to your networking, man. Do it right and come from, you know what I mean? And I want to get your take on it, but coming from a place of compassion and like honesty, to me is a good way to access that when you approach somebody. What's your take on that?
Yeah, those who know me, it's probably my strength and my weakness all at once, is that I'm kind of brutally honest. I'm always just open and out there with people. I proactively give people feedback, sometimes whether they like it or not sometimes. And I would tell you that there's, what I've discovered about myself in life, and especially in recent years, is that 99.99% of the population out there loves what I do and how I do it and how I interact. And then there's that 0.1% out there that it's just too much for them. And, I've crossed some imaginary line that I didn't know I crossed until it was too late and there was no recovery. And, that's one of those things we've talked about before about, you just got to remove that, that negativity from your life, whether it be on social media, whether it be in real life or whatever. But, a lot of folks just in life feel like they're confined to their group of friends or their group of, even family sometimes for heaven's sakes. And what I would tell you is that you personally get to choose whoever is in your life, family, friends, or otherwise. Mm-hmm. And if they're a positive influence in your life, you bring them along for the ride. If they're not, you do your best to kind of, follow the sunshine the way you go. So, by the way, my mom, speaking of family, my mom just chimed in. Carolyn Ferrian there. She just joined from Minnesota tonight.
Oh, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, thank everybody for coming on. And if you get some value from this and you have some fun, please like it, please share it, and help us grow this network and see where we can take it. That's what I like to ask people to do.
Yeah, no, good times. So, hey, Scott, one thing, I've got several real stories that I kind of had thought through when I talk about, but there was one thing, your post earlier that you shared tonight, kind of advertising this show tonight, is that social media can be kind of like a turbocharger for your networking. And I would tell you that that's extremely true. And one thing that I made a very conscious decision to do probably about 2 to 3 years ago. And it's one of those things that you make that decision, you think about it and you do it, and you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, what was I doing before? Right. And I would tell you, if you know and learn one thing that I've learned about social media, is that if you can be very conscious about making every engagement, every post, every interaction that you have consciously positive, it's the old saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. You can scroll right by people, right? You don't have to give them the angry sign. You don't have to give them some snide comment. And the other thing about, typed media or any kind of a written media is there's no inflection, there's no tone. You may think you're being funny as heck, but people are offended. They take it out of context. They don't know what's going on. And always default. Like literally, even tonight, I was going through social media and I saw a buddy in Minnesota riding and they got stuck. And, I was inspired to kind of make kind of a smart aleck comment of like, oh, look what happened, right? And I actually stopped myself in the middle of it. And I said, nope, not going to go there. I was like, oh, buddy, sorry, bummer. Hope nobody got hurt. Again, it's just a very conscious thing of like, be positive, be thoughtful. If you can be that, you're creating that brand for yourself. You're creating that reputation for yourself of being the person that when you interact with the folks, in person, on social media especially, that you're that positive role model, you're that positive influence. And it's something that even to this day, it's something I'm conscious of, but it's something that I've got to think about all the time. It's not, it's not supernatural. As a human being, we kind of like a little bit condescending, a little bit of a smart aleck sometimes because we think it's funny. And sometimes it is, and there's time and place for it. But what I've discovered about social media is my experience on social media completely changed once I changed my mindset of how I was going to interact on it. And so it wasn't something I was planning to talk about tonight, but I saw your post earlier and it kind of inspired me to bring that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. And I did the same thing and I kind of put it in my mind and set my mindset to be like, is what I'm going to post right now, could it help somebody in a positive way? And is it going to lift somebody up? Is it going to motivate somebody to go try something new? Or, is it helpful in any way? And if you can check all three of those boxes or even one of them, then boom, hit post and put it out there. And, we fail sometimes, but we do our best.
Yep, nobody's perfect,
I hear you, man. I appreciate it. Drop some hearts on that. Drop some hearts in the comments if you can feel what he's talking about. I got to take a second. Nick's on, Brooks on. Thank you guys for coming in. David, solid gold. I appreciate that. Dwayne's in and Jackson. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in. Again, like, share, and comment if you would and if you get some value. So, Jon, my man, my personal experience networking, about a year ago, I stepped into the online game with a few different attempts at things, and I fell flat on my face, and I kind of stood back and I said, okay, is what I'm doing on here going to be something that somebody wants to listen to and wants to like? And it goes back to posting with a purpose too. And I came across this guy. He had a beard and he talked like me a little bit, and I could relate to him. Anyway, that guy had a group, and I started watching his stuff. I joined his group, and one thing led to another. And through this networking, I've kind of found myself in this mastermind of business people that are highly successful and some just getting started. And it never would have happened had I not got out of my comfort zone and started not interacting, but basically, participating in what somebody was doing similar to what I got going on here. And same thing you've done. And it's the same thing that put me in the position to be able to have this show and to have Driven and to have all these beautiful people on. Thank you guys. And with your help too, obviously half of them are your friends. I love it. What are some stories, because stories are the heart of all of it.
Yeah.
Share a story with me, man. Share a story about networking that you can relate to, that we can relate to.
No, I've got a couple of personal stories I want to share tonight. Then I want to give just one more little teaser here too, is there's one of my family members. If anybody's watching earlier, I did a little teaser on my page, a little video showing my family, my wife, my two sons, and one of them, of the three, are looking to step on at the end of the program here and say a few words about how networking has impacted their life. And I can't tell you, I'm so proud that they've made that decision to do so. I'll introduce them in a few minutes. But for me, there's one specific story that stands out in my professional career. Kind of between my career with Walmart and T-Mobile over the years, there's some big corporations that's really easy to get kind of lost in the shuffle, right? You're one of hundreds of thousands of people out there in the world. Mm-hmm. And how do you stand out? How do you work? And how do you network, right? And I go back to my original career days of when I was in my early 20s. I remember people very specifically saying, networking is such a powerful tool, absolutely use it. But nobody ever took the time to explain what it meant, right? Like, I mean, think about it. The first time you ever heard the term networking, you're like hooking computers together? Is that what we're doing? Like, what are we talking about here? And so really, networking, it really comes down to something as simple as the concept of being a good friend, being an inspiration, being somebody who's given to reach out and give people a hand up. Don't make it about yourself. That's the number one thing, man. It's like over and over again, I can keep telling you that, is that, in the last episode, we talked about this a lot, is, give. Yeah. That's the secret. And the same thing with networking, right? Is when you give of yourself and you create that environment around you where you're looking out for those around you at work, professionally, otherwise, that's when it comes back to you. And that's when that networking pays off. It's because you're investing, you're putting money in the bank, you're investing in everybody around you. And there's a little story here I want to share is, I was in Minneapolis as a district manager for T-Mobile at the time, new to the company. A gentleman in Seattle, Washington, who I had no idea who he was, never heard of him before in my life, but we met through work, right? He's the national account manager covering Walmart family mobile product. I'm in Minneapolis covering all of the national retail stores. I've got a team of people working for me. And guess what? I just came from Walmart to T-Mobile. And so I had this kind of unfair advantage, I'll call it, that I understood what happened inside of a Walmart more than most of the rest of the team at T-Mobile. And so David saw that in me. He reached out. He leveraged me for input and influence on, hey, tell me about what you know about how do we make this product successful in Walmart. And I had my experience that I had shared. I openly gave to him, experience and ideas and shared and vice versa. And then as he was making business plans, he was reaching out to me and helping me influence my local business. Boom, before I knew it, my district and the entire company of T-Mobile was the #1 Walmart family mobile in the entire country, right? And we were the beacon, we were the light, and it was just because of this people reaching out and helping each other and networking, right? That's not even the story, Scott. The real story is here. Eventually, corporate restructures, my job went away. Boom, John Ferry needed a job. Guess what? David Nimerov is at T-Mobile corporate office. John just got laid off in the field. John's applying for a job at T-Mobile corporate office. Guess who's up there at T-Mobile corporate office pulling for John? Because John helped David become successful in his product as a national account manager. Right. It's that simple, right? It's like you're helping each other. I'm investing in him. I'm developing him in his product and what he's trying to do, and vice versa. He's helping me out. He's now mentoring, coaching me, giving me tips, giving me mock interviews to bring me on board up top. And I'm not on his team. I'm on an adjacent team, but he gave me referrals, and ultimately I ended up getting the job. I picked up in 2012, moved my family from Minneapolis to Seattle, Washington area. And I tell you what, it's been the best professional career move of my life. It's been the best family and personal move of my life. I mean, our family just loves it here, right? And, you know, our secret guest is our secret guest goes over here shaking his head. It's a giveaway. It's not my wife, one of my boys. You know, shaking his head, going, "Yeah, Seattle's been awesome. We love it here, right?" And
that's great. And then, like that translates into so many more things. I mean, if your professional life is happy and sufficient, like your personal life improves, and everything improves. Your ability to give improves, and your ability to grow yourself. It all kind of feeds off each other. And started with a conversation.
And guess what, Scott? Networking. Pay it forward. Fast forward 5 years later. I moved here in 2012. In 2017, my buddy Dave, already back in 2013, had left T-Mobile. He had gone out exploring new career opportunities. He kind of became this entrepreneur, and he got involved in a lot of different things. By the way, David Nemiroff, the guy I'm talking about, is somebody who I've been chatting with you about a future guest. He couldn't make it tonight. He's actually in a business meeting downtown Seattle. He's got to fly down to LA tomorrow. But, you know, he's got a big thing going on, but he wants to jump on here and talk to you a little bit too in the future about some things. So he's definitely in. We got to get him on. But so anyway, David was in between, you know, kind of steady jobs. He was kind of doing some entrepreneurial things. He's invested in different programs, different things going on. Some really cool things, by the way, which he can tell you about in his episode. But exactly. Right. So he came, and I just happened to be one day cruising LinkedIn. You guys are all familiar with LinkedIn? Professional networking tool. It's a social media tool. If you're not on it, you know, for professionals, it's basically Facebook for the professional world, right? It's allows you to interact and network with professional people who are all like-minded, looking for careers and advancement, those kind of things. And I came across a job posting on LinkedIn that I was like, holy smokes, Microsoft is hiring a national account manager supporting Walmart for Xbox products. Now, talk about those three, right? You got Microsoft, you got Walmart, and Xbox. Three of the largest brand names in the world, basically, right? And I thought of David. Like, David, why wouldn't you want that job? You're well qualified. You got the right person. By the way, the person who was offering that job was somebody that David and I had worked with once upon a time. So in the history and the network of the reputations that him and I both had built, there was already a level of understanding and trust of what's going on. It's this whole networking thing, right? Building that brand, doing your job every day, day in and out, being the person that's going to stand behind what you say. You build that reputation, right? And so guess what? David never even knew about that job except for I told him about it. He went and applied for it. Boom, he gets it. Hundreds of applicants, highly qualified applicants. David nails that job. He sinks it. He now is working as the account manager for Walmart Xbox across the country. So awesome professional story about how he's helped me, you know, advance my career. And David's one of my few friends, kind of like you, Scott, where you're becoming this guy with me as well too. But, you know, investing in each other, right? David is somebody who I can sit down, we'll go down and have a beer together. And, you know, we talk shop more than anything because it's that mentorship, it's that professional investment in each other and giving each other good and bad of, hey, maybe that's not how you should have handled it, or maybe that is how you should have handled it. But it's, you know, that's the professional story I have tonight. And apologize as always, I talk longer than I think I should, but you know, I got a quick snowmobiling story, and then I got to share it with my son over here. I want to introduce him quick too. So
I'm looking forward to that. Let's hit that story. First, everybody thank you guys again. Carrie, Jon on here. I got a little bit from you later. Darren, Nicole, Kelsey again, guys. Thank you so much. This is Jon Ferrian. We're talking about networking. We're talking about networking the right way and the powers behind it. And you may not see it up front at the face value for it, but down the road, if it's done right and you're doing it from a place of compassion, you know what I mean, in a place of honesty, it can serve you over and over again. It's like a return customer, if you will. It's doing it right. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what my man's telling you about. So, Jon, on to the next story.
All right, this one's much shorter, I promise. And this is the difference, right? Complicated, professional, long-term story. It's a very detailed strategy about networking. It really came down to just you know, being a good friend is really what it comes down to, right? And investing in others. Snowmobiling, right? So those who follow me, those who know me, I'm riding every single weekend. I'm constantly leading rides. I embrace an environment where people feel really comfortable coming in and riding with me. I got literally again on Monday, I was with brand new riders that they had never ridden before in their life, and they were on the ride with us. And we were out there with seasoned riders, right? And so we create this environment where people come in, they feel welcome, they're in there too. And guess what?
I love it.
A lot of people, like they're all slowly but surely, just like you, Scott, becoming friends of mine. They're becoming part of my network. I meet them once. It's not the last time I meet them. Very rarely do I ever meet somebody once and never see them again. They keep coming in, and then guess what? They end up becoming comfortable with both riding areas. They start leading rides. It's this network. It's growing the sport. It's growing what's going on here in Washington. But literally, there was a story here, and I hope he's watching. I think he is. I saw his wife pop through here a minute ago. But a good buddy of mine, Darren King, who I met a year ago, he moved here head first, decided he's going to get into sledding after he met me, and he joined the club, and long story, but he's got was on a budget when he bought. He's buying 2 sleds and a trailer, bought a 3rd sled now, but he's buying the stuff, secondhand. It's, used stuff. And here we go. We're heading down the trail, and we've got some mechanical issues. Everybody's ridden a sled knows that comes with the territory, right?
Yeah.
But another good buddy of mine, who I don't know if he's on tonight yet, but he'll watch it again later, I'm sure. Gentleman named Eric Nelson. So Eric Nelson is another guy that I've run into that's just an incredible human being, man. The more I get to know that guy, the more I have just huge amounts of respect for him. And guess what? He came to the ride, had a trailer, 4 sleds in it. He was only using 1. His son decided not to ride the day. Darren and Eric, I don't even recall if they'd ever met each other before, but they both knew me mutually through me. And it's like, Scott, if I give you the reference or the referral saying, hey, I vouch for Scott, I vouch for Darren, I vouch for Eric, my word becomes my bond. They trust me enough to know that, you know what, this is a good person. They're willing to take care of your stuff. You can trust them. And that little bit of networking that happened in the first 15 minutes of the ride, Darren King, who had a broken sled that really his day was done, he got to ride a brand new Access with 100 miles on it, literally a brand new sled. He got to ride for the day. He basically got to demo a brand new sled. Yeah. Eric, everybody had a great day, right? We got to finish the ride, the whole thing too. So, bottom line is it can be as simple as that, right? It's just building a brand, building a trust, building a network of friends that they know because they know you. There's that immediate trust that happens amongst them, and they start helping each other. And guess what? Exactly. I didn't have to loan out my sled that day. Boom, boom, Carrie, Darren. I didn't have it.
If they want, but that's the sledding community too. And I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. I've been without, and I've been with, and I've been with a broken one where I don't know. It's a community. You're sending somebody up to where they could, yes, at any given moment lose it all, but it's kind of, it's a risk reward factor, I guess, if that even makes sense. But it's the respect that he had for you to let that guy ride his sled. And I appreciate it. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, and I would have been the person to loan my sled too had I had the extra ones with, but me and my wife were riding the 2 sleds we had with and whatnot too. But Eric stepped up. He's an awesome dude. And I think Eric is somebody too that I'm working with him kind of in the background on something too. He's got a really cool idea for a nonprofit org that is tied in and revolves around snowmobiling that he's been looking at too, that I've been kind of working with him, feeding some ideas back and forth. And I'm excited to see where he takes that. And if I can be part of that a little bit too, I'd be grateful. But without any further ado, let me set this stage here, right? You want to pause? You want to pause for a minute, or you want to go for our special guest right away?
Let me again, guys. If you stay till the end of this, I got 3 things I want to share with you that'll really help your networking, and I also want to invite everybody to a special group right at the end of this. So stay tuned. Let's listen to our special guest, and then I want to drop some news about a group I got put together. So here we go.
All right, so here it is. So as you guys know, I'm extremely proud of my family. Those are the 2 things I share on Facebook: is my family and sledding. Right, those are the 2 things in my life that I'm the most proud of being part of and being well. And my youngest son, Max, 14 years of age, it's pretty amazing, right? Like, as a father, I would tell you that there's days that I walk around thinking, thank God I didn't screw those kids up, right? And it's, we're 14 and 16 years old. They've got such a good head on their shoulders, and they inspire me just as much as I inspire them. And I would tell you that my son, Max, here, when I started talking about this episode and what we're going to do, I just threw it out there to everybody in the family. I'm like, hey, does anybody have something they want to jump on and share? I'd love to introduce you guys and make you part of the show tonight. and Max stepped up, and Max has a story. So I'm going to set up. I'm going to shift chairs with him here for a second, maybe reset the camera so we can go both beyond. But I want Max to jump in front of the camera here. So come on in, Max.
Awesome. How about this, guys? Max Farian coming in, 14 years old, going to share a story about the power of networking. Like, step up, brother. How are you doing, my man? How are you feeling?
Max, bullhorns for Max.
Drop some fire on that. The power of networking, brought to you by Max Farian.
The show's yours, buddy.
Probably around the start of the year, I recently switched to trombone in music, and there's this person I knew that I wouldn't really had considered friends at the time, but he really reached out to me and like really pushed me to join the school's jazz club, which you try out and then you can make it or not. And I made it, and that definitely increased my musical capability. And then later on, he did the same thing. He offered the idea to join an orchestra, the Bellevue Youth Symphony Orchestra, and he just pushed me and like he encouraged me to join, and I tried out. And for the audition, there's like certain requirements that you need to do for the audition. One of them was you needed to do a solo piece, and probably a week before or like 2 weeks before, I asked my friend Andrew if I needed to give the judges like anything, and he said that I needed to give them, or at least it would help to give them the actual written piece that I was going to play. And so I printed off a piece that was what I was going to play, and then
so you went through the presentation and it went really well, right?
Yeah, but before that, he offered to show me some of the music he was playing because he had already been in the orchestra. And one thing I noticed, it was written in a special clef, which is the way it's written. And
so Scott, I'm just going to say we should have started this part of the episode with this one time at band camp, right? So Max is amazing. Well, he kind of catches his breath on his story. I'll just share with you that, this is a kid who, he picks up a Rubik's Cube and within a week or two masters it, goes to a world championship down in Oregon, Rubik's Cube, competition, a national competition.
Brother.
Does some incredible, he can solve Rubik's Cube in like 30 seconds or under 30 seconds now. And then he just decided one day that, I want to join music. I want to get into music. And he starts a new instrument, and he just gets involved in stuff. And he just pushes hard. Like it's hard to see anybody in their life, period, much less somebody at 14 years old who puts this much time and effort and dedication into mastering different things that they set goals on. He's driven, right? He sets his goals, he fights on something, and he knows what he's got to do to go after it. And so to me, that's what the story is about, is, him and his networking between him and his friend and what it come down to. But any final thoughts on wrapping up the story, Max, before we shift it back to Scott?
So ultimately, you want to say something?
Go ahead. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to see, did you get the part?
Ultimately the judge was impressed that I knew the certain clef that it was written in. And so then later, probably about like a week ago, because one thing that I'm better at than any other trombone that I know is I have really good range, the highest note and the lowest note you can play. I can outdo most people. And so I've just been helping my friend Andrew, the one who helped me get into the orchestra. I've been helping him with his range, and just the other day he thanked me and he said I was teaching him stuff in a better way than his private instructor was.
So this other kid's got a private instructor, and Max is teaching him things that his instructor hadn't even touched.
I get that, man.
Cool. So anyway, I mean, music, I know it's maybe not what our audience is always looking exciting about, but I would tell you what.
No, the driven mindset is,
right?
And if a 14-year-old kid can take on a new instrument, what is it, a cleft that is cleft that's unfamiliar, and he can not only do it, succeed at it, but teach somebody else how to do it, like, boom, drop some fire
Yeah.
on that.
And the boy can
That's
lift
a driven
and the-
mindset. And that's what this should.
And the boy
Go ahead.
rides a 174 Skidoo Summit XM and puts the ski in the air right up the hill, buddy.
I see you run. I see the dangle the other day when you guys were up on the family ride.
Yep.
Looking good, my man. Looking good.
Cool. All right, Scott. Well, I guess that's a wrap for the ferrying side of the house here. We'll turn it back over to you and let you wrap up the show, buddy.
Absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much, man. Max, you're an animal. Keep driven. Keep it on your mind. Keep being better, and keep pouring it out, man. Keep pouring it out to people. You never know who's going to need help along your way. Just be willing to give a hand. And I know with that guy next to you, he's teaching you that exact thing because he's good at it.
Well,
So.
I just see my buddy Ryan said, "Good job, Max." And something we got to call out here is what you guys don't know about this Max is it's Max not with one X, not even two X's. It's three X's, right? Three X's.
Three.
So it's Max with two X's and his middle name's Xavier. So he's Max X.
Okay.
He's hardcore. Max X. Go for it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much. I'm coming into your house on a monthly basis almost, and I do appreciate everything that you're giving to the network and giving to the Driven Network. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. You want us to drop off then? We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, if you want, you can hang out if you want. I'll just wrap this baby up.
Yeah.
Again, I told you 3 important things to improve your network, and I just got done. I had a meeting today about this. I was struggling with a certain part of the thing I'm working on, and I reached out to somebody that I'm working with and a business partner, and he told me exactly this. He's like, Scott, there's 3 things. It's be authentic and be honest. First and foremost, and I use that a couple times. Be authentic and be honest. Second is build your relationship. Worry about the relationship first, and then go from there and see what comes out of it. So build that relationship is the second important thing. And the third one is take it in steps. You don't want to come to somebody and be like, blah, 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 you know, here is it all. Here's what I got. Here's what I'm struggling with. Here's what I need help with. And just build it in steps, build the relationship, and be honest when you're going through it. And that will add horsepower to your network. Guaranteed.
100%, brother.
All right. Thank you guys. Again, like, share, comment. And I told you about a special group. If you guys, I'm building the Driven Network, and what it's going to serve as is a place where we can have pre-interviews. You can get a little extra content from my current guests, my future guests, and it's a place we can work together. So if you want to be part of the Driven Network and you're feeling what I'm putting down and you're appreciating what we're doing here, you got to join the team. Shoot me a message. I don't want to just add people blindly without asking your permission. So if you want to be part of the Driven Network, you got to get in this group and get in at the beginning because we're going to grow it big and we're going to have fun doing it. So
I'm already in, brother. I'm already in.
You're in. Number 1. All right. And then one quick story again. My mom, I forgot I was going to share this. I gotta tell you right now. So after, I don't know, I think episode 4, about a week, Mom caught the replay. She's like, hey, son of mine, I need a motivational book. She goes, Jon is just motivating the heck out of me. And she goes, I don't need like a take on the world type of motivational book. I need a motivational book that's like just getting started. I don't want to take on the world. I just want to get started. And I'm like, I'll find you a book, Mom. So you're inspiring my mom to do better, and I'm inspiring her, and we love her, and thank you. And thanks to your mom for popping in tonight too.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Steph just hoppled on. I love that. Hey, Steph, how you doing, girl? Thank you. JJ, thanks for sharing earlier. I appreciate that. Everybody who shared, I hope you had a good time tonight. Max, Jon, I appreciate you guys and your whole family. Until next time, think driven and be driven.
Boom. Have a good night.
Later, guys.